1670 season 2 is out in full on Netflix, 8 new episodes around 35 minutes each. This is the hit Polish comedy slash mockumentary show about a group of nobles and peasants in 17th century Poland, which of course uses the setting to lampoon and make fun of the modern day. So when it comes to the first season, I liked it much more than I thought I would, but still significantly less than some of the people here in Poland seemingly did. I know a lot of folks who rated 8 or even 9 out of 10. For me it was more of a 6, and it still kinda is. I think the second season is largely similar to the first one in what works and what doesn't work. So I love the production design, I love costumes, sets, props. All of that is absolutely stellar, and I kind of wish The Witcher from Netflix would just reuse this stuff instead of making their own shit, which is inferior. Also makes it doubly funny that we do actually have a Witcher appearance in this season, which I found pretty hilarious. I love the wacky characters and the performances, particularly Bartłomiej Topa in the lead role is incredibly funny, and I liked some of the humor of the show. What prevents it from being truly great for me are two things. One, and I think I said the exact same thing in my review of season 1, I think the pacing of the jokes is often bad. And what I mean to say is I appreciate shows and films where jokes pop off like this, 1, 2, 3 in quick succession, and there's sort of no time in between. If you get it and laugh, you laugh while the next thing is already going on halfway through. If you don't, you're lost. But crucially, doing things this way doesn't draw attention to the jokes and therefore on average makes them more organic and funnier. In 1670, very often a character will say or do something funny, and then there will be this 3-second break, a silence left there almost as if expecting the audience to need time to understand it and then laugh. Which means the good jokes don't really have the same punch because you feel it is the director going, get it? Get it? And then the bad ones, the ones that don't land, are awful because instead of just quickly moving on to the next thing and forgetting about it, you sort of sit there contemplating how this was not funny at all. And I know this thing can be done differently because there is another weirdly similar show, What We Do in the Shadows, which plays its humor to a much better effect, and you can check that one out to see what I mean. And secondly, I think in a comedy show like this one, it is fine to have also the occasional serious, heartfelt moment for the characters, a scene which is genuine as a counterbalance to all the goofy shit. But in my view, the sort of correct balance would be somewhere around 90% jokes, 10% being real. Whereas in this season, it felt much closer to something like 70-30, and that is too much, particularly the final episode. For almost half of it, I felt like I was no longer watching a straight comedy, but rather some drama that tries to give its characters heart and growth and you know, moral dilemmas and all the serious stuff in here. It felt like baggage. Put it this way, after a certain threshold of making a comedy, of being funny, trying to then take a serious approach to these characters doesn't really work because you sort of have been already conditioned to take them as the funny caricatures that they are. So I sort of wish that the show embraced that a little bit more and was not so ashamed of just being dumb and silly. Having said that, I still had quite a bit of fun with the show. I liked it more than I didn't, and will most likely be tuning in for the third season once it's released. Fingers crossed that perhaps these flaws are corrected.